bloodsuckers.
As you walk through the valley of the shadow of hell,
Join us!
you will realize that there is something ahead. Something that lurks behind the dark veil.
We have such sights to show you.
A veil that is beyond our own comprehension.
I'm just gonna bash your brains.
Beyond the void.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void
Horror Podcast.
That's right, it's episode 182, and today we have a special episode for you. It's something we haven't done in a very long time, something that we used to do a whole lot, actually, like once a week for like 4 months straight. It's a segment that we do on the podcast called Graveplots. So for a lot of you new listeners out there, or viewers if you're on YouTube, you may not have heard of this because we haven't done it in such a long time, but it's a segment where we come up with horror movies on the spot. We make up the entire story based on fake movie titles that are submitted to us by you guys, some of the people who've been on the podcast, and myself, and we pull a name out of the hat, or in this case, a crystal skull with diamond eyes.
A movie name.
That involves time travel that we got, just so you know. But yeah, a fake faux movie title that isn't on IMDb or anything, something that just came out of people's minds. And then we open it up, we don't know what it's going to be, and then we make up the movie on the spot.
They make up a movie based on that movie title.
Right. So if, this week we picked one from one of our listeners, sometimes they're mine, sometimes they're other people, but we have Sarah Durbin submitted one to us called Electronic Body Massacre, which is the title of this episode, of course. And we have writer, director Ryan Prows of the movie Lowlife.
Oh, he did Lowlife.
Yes.
That was such a good movie.
Fuck yeah, it is. I don't just say that because I interviewed him. Like, when I watched that movie, I wrote him and said, I gotta have you on the podcast. Can you come on? And he was like, sure, man. So he came on. We did an interview with him, and I'll put a link down below so you guys can check that one out too if you want to afterwards. Highly recommend watching that movie. It is more of a crime gore comedy. It's like a crime thriller comedy drama.
How did you convince him to do the Graveplots?
When we finished our interview, and he probably doesn't even remember this, years ago, because it was like 3 years ago that we had him on.
Right.
Yeah. I told him, I said, hey man, we do a Graveplots episode, where we do makeup movies on the spot. And he said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then, which I tell everybody when I interview them, because I always want to have somebody come back on and do it. And I'll probably have more people do it. But I hit him up a couple months ago and said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this and I would like to have you on. Would you like to come on? We could talk about like what you've been up to and stuff. And he was like, yeah, man, sure. So he's like, I'm open.
And I already listened to the Graveplots.
Yes, you did.
It was really good. You guys went back and forth really good.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Good. Well, that's good to hear.
And it's about a music festival, of course, EBM, Electronic Body Massacre.
Sounds like this. EBM. Shake your fist.
Did you use any industrial EBM music in it?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything that's in the episode.
Oh, sorry.
But there is music in there that I did do. I did some background music and stuff like that.
Oh, did you write it specifically for this Graveplots?
Oh, yeah. Because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if you're new here, what I do is I go in, I do voice acting, sound effects, Foley work, which is where you make the sounds like a horse running or some dumb shit like that. Some of them I get off a website or, just find sounds that I can use in the story to kind of paint the picture, the visual audio drama of this horror movie that we're making up on the spot. So throughout the episode, you're going to hear different sound bites of listening to a movie, almost like a radio play. You know what I mean? While you're listening. So
Right.
it's like I went back, edited it, and then put it in there in these little parts. So
And you spent a few weeks on it too.
yeah, it's been a lot of work, guys. Plus, I did a trailer too. So if you haven't seen the trailer for this movie, I plastered it all over social media on our Reddit and all that other stuff. So if you want to check it out, you can go to youtube.com and find Beyond the Void Horror Podcast there and check it out. Or it's on our Facebook as well. So if you want to check that out.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to hear this. It's really cool. I'll just tell you, it's supernatural in a sort, but we had to get to that point first. So it's really interesting, the creative process of like coming up with an idea. And I just love that. So I hope you guys will enjoy it too. But how have you been, Christina? What's going on with you?
Oh, I'm fine. Quarantined, hot.
Hot.
It's hot now in Phoenix. So, yep.
Yeah, I'm not liking it. I'm already sweaty today.
It was spring for about 3 days.
Yeah.
Because we go from winter to summer.
Pretty much nowadays, it seems like there is no,
always.
middle.
Yeah, there's no in between for, no.
Yeah, that's one thing I always forget. It's like, we'll have this weather that's like really great for like, a while. And then it's like,
yeah, winter.
Fucking hot. No, I'm talking about the summer. I hate heat. Ugh.
I don't mind it. But anyway, we're old. We're talking about the weather.
Yeah. So you guys like the weather too? No, but what have you been doing? Like, we got some good news. Christina won something in the mail.
I forgot. So you know those customer survey things you fill on the bottom of the receipts? So I always fill those out because I know it's good for the employees, especially if they've done a good job and they get recognized that way. Well, I actually won a fucking gift card
for $100.
$100. Like, I still can't believe it.
Yeah, we were
I hope
pretty
it
excited.
works. I haven't used the gift card yet, but I hope it works.
Now you can get all the well, there probably won't be disinfected, but we can get other things.
Yeah, we get some toilet paper.
Like garbage food, like right now, since everybody...
Get some steaks.
Yeah. Some Corona steaks. Oh my God. Anyway, so I'm glad that you won that. So now we can eat
I bet you are, so we can eat like kings for
she was like, let's get some patio furniture for the front. I'm like, patio furniture? Like, what? Like, let's get food. Like, people are like...
Some chips?
Yeah, some chips.
Some alcohol? You can go get some $13 vodka at Costco?
By the way, Kelly and Patrick, our friends, Patrick used to be on the podcast, or sort of is infrequently whenever he can. Patrick and Kelly got the vodka because they just found out that the same vodka that... What is it called?
Is it Grey Goose?
Grey Goose, yeah, is the same that Kirkland, which owns Costco.
This generic version.
Their
of Grey
generic
Goose.
vodka is Grey Goose, so it's like $13 for this fucking huge jug. So if you're trying to light it up before the fucking apocalypse, fucking...
You use it as hand sanitizer.
There you go. Just don't spray it in your child's eyes when you're feeding it.
You can actually inject it in your mouth and you won't die.
Oh, speaking of injections, the president had some really good information this past week. Jesus Christ. And now people are going online saying, oh, he didn't say that. I'm like, oh my God. I'm not.
Let's not go there.
I'll stop. Okay. Just don't inject yourself with shit, guys. Okay. Use some common sense. It's like sad that we got to say that these days.
Did you see Lysol came out with it?
Ejected kind.
They came out with a statement saying, do not ingest.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And not only that, I saw this meme where this guy had like Lysol spray bottles and he had like an IV tied to it. And he had it taped to his arm.
Really, we shouldn't be laughing about this.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to get political, but
it's just sign of the times. It's just
Jesus
the times right
Christ.
now.
Anyway, guys, so if you haven't been lost already by this banter back and forth, I apologize for that. I try to keep it fun and light here so that we can just kind of enjoy life, regardless of the fucking apocalypse via politics or fucking virus. So either way, we love you guys and thank you for listening. So I think it might be that time. Oh, wait, we're not doing it.
No
horror shots this week.
Do some Graveplots!
We're going to do our Graveplots now with Ryan Prows. So we're going to do a little bit of an interview in the beginning of this with Ryan Prows. So he is going to kind of catch us up to speed on some of the stuff that he's working on and a new movie that he's got coming out. And then we're going to jump into the Graveplots. It's pretty much like 8 minutes in the beginning of that, but I'll mark down the timestamps down below so you know exactly what to expect. So let's go ahead and get into the interview and the Graveplots right after. All right, guys, so today we're going to be having a special guest on. I want to welcome back writer-director of one of my favorite movies of 2018, Lowlife, and who's working on a few upcoming movies, Ryan Prows. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much. This time we're going to be doing something different, guys. So obviously we're going to catch up with Ryan, see how he's been and everything like that, but we're also going to be doing our Graveplots together today, which he agreed to so graciously. So I'm excited to see what we come up with, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So
is this like a Smodcast thing where you then go make the movie? How does it work?
I wish if I had the money, I would go make it. But what I do is I basically will add sound effects and do like voice acting and stuff all by myself pretty much. If I had other people, I would do it that way. And then I even make up a fake trailer using like existing footage from different movies. And
that's dope.
Yeah. And then put it in to make it seem like the story we're telling. So I haven't done it in a while because it's a lot of fucking work. And doing it in 1 week was like crazy. So I had to take it a step back and prepare for these ahead of time so I could do it weeks in advance. So thanks for coming on to do that, man. But what's been going on with you? Like, I know that last time we talked, you said you were working on a possible feature here called Night Patrol. I think it even got released on the interwebs.
Announcement on that. Yeah, we're working with David Goyer's company, Phantom 4, with that producing, and we're close on, we've been kind of back and forth on casting stuff, and we're kind of close, hopefully, on closing a deal with our lead actually this week. So hopefully more to come off of that one. Yeah.
So the script and everything's all fleshed out. It's been for a while, I assume.
Yeah. We wrote it a couple of years ago, and it's a bunch of the guys from Lowlife and myself wrote that. And then, sort of made the rounds at different production companies. And then we've been kind of up and down with Goyer's company, just trying to get, money and cast and all that stuff going on it.
Fine tune everying to make sure you don't spend.
Yeah. Well, just get the money for it. The old Hollywood shuffle here.
Well, you got a couple of other things I saw via IMDb through my phone and not my desktop, by the way, guys. You've got The Brute, I see, that is on here, and I was curious about that. What's that all about?
Yeah, it was a script I wrote like several years ago now, like right out of school. And I would love to do it someday. It's like a teens in trouble sort of crime, a little horror element to it. But it was funny. I actually wrote that before Lowlife, and we had a luchador character in there, and that was kind of some of the stuff that I brought, like one of the stories I brought from that for Lowlife, obviously with El Monstro. And we made that luchador up for Lowlife, and now it's almost kind of like it would be dope to go back and do the Brute as kind of like a early story of one of the other El Monstros, like in the Pantheon. Would be kind of cool.
It'd be kind of cool if you crossed over maybe just one scene or something from Lowlife. Like that would be like from another angle or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like on the news, just like ice raid an entire small hamburger stand or something.
So is there anything else that you're working on other than that you can talk about, or?
I did actually just reposted some stuff for it. I did late last year, me and a lot of the same crew from Lowlife, we shot like a music video triptych series for this band called Sydney Lender and the Silver Wilderness Collective. And it's kind of this it's super dope. Like he calls it doom folk, but it's kind of like a Nick Cave, Leonard Cohen-y vibe. And we did three pieces for that, and then made them into it's like a 10-minute, 11-minute short film.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's cool. I mean, that's online now. I'll send you the links to that so you can post that. And I've been working just Yeah, Night Patrol's the big forerunner thing, and then I'm working with a couple of the other guys on a TV pitch and another feature that we're like a straight up horror thing that I'm writing right now. So hopefully have some more stuff kind of in the hopper.
You probably can't divulge too much about that one though, right?
Yeah, I mean that one's kind of like it's definitely like grounded. I've been kind of pitching it sort of like Kill List meets like No Country for Old Men or something like that. It's like set here in the States, but it's like kind of deals with like, occult sort of, and these two they were like special forces ranger kind of deal, and then now they're married. It's a couple that are married, and they sort of rip off these super baddie occultists and have to go on the run.
Oh, cool. So I wonder if any of the current political climate has anything to do with
Yeah, man, always.
Because, man, has it been getting crazy out there.
It sure has. I've been, I don't know, I guess a gift and a curse, but like it feels like we're always like one step ahead of like what we're pitching. And then it's like, oh, this will never happen. This is too hellacious to happen. And then it comes true. So holy shit.
You're actually creating it and don't realize it. It's kind of like one of those. Well, cool, man. So why don't you tell them a little bit about Night Patrol, and then we'll jump right into the Graveplots.
Yeah, cool. Night Patrol is set in LA, and it's like a cop who grew up in like a housing project in LA, like in Watts specifically, and his family's all kind of embroiled in gang stuff back home. So there's sort of a triangle, like he's fighting between his mother and his younger brother, who he's trying to get out of the life and everything. Meanwhile, Night Patrol is a gang task force who come and like attack the housing project that he grew up in. So it's like kind of a siege, wild ass.
Nice.
The Night in the Hood.
That's awesome. I like those kind of movies anyway. There's been a few of those coming out recently too, a little bit, just slightly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, taking kind of real, obviously real political stuff, sort of modern political stuff, and then finding that kind of genre twist to it is always really fun.
Now, is there going to be some humor, some of that Lowlife style humor in this, or is it 100%. More straight? Okay.
No, yeah, you gotta have a little sugar with the.
Makes the medicine go down, guys.
100%.
Yeah, if you can help them come to their own conclusion, then they can figure it out. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. We're just they're one of my favorite scenes in it, pending we can get it. But a bunch of guys all tool up while singing like an old like Bone Thugs song as like they're like singing it together as like their call for war, basically. Their rallying cry as they lock and load. So like a commando sort of vibe with dude singing an old Bone Thugs song.
So it's a musical. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it falls into it. We span all genres here at Prows & Co.
No stone unturned in the genre garden.
That makes it interesting.
That sounds awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully we'll see that within the next year or two, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. We're, like I said, we're close to getting rolling on it. So.
All right. Well, hell yeah, guys. Look out for that. Now, I think it's time for us to do our Graveplots. If you guys aren't familiar with this, what we do is make up a horror movie on the spot by pulling fake movie titles that not only I, but also you listeners, and of course Ryan actually donated some names to the Crystal Skull with Diamond Eyes. We're going to pull it out and make up a horror movie based on that from start to finish as quick as we can within 45 minutes to an hour, hopefully. So, but let's get into that now. All right, Ryan. So you can't be here. So obviously you can't pick. I would have you pick. So I'm just going to basically stick my hand in this skull. And then you just tell me when to pick.
And now.
Okay. And they're all bunched up in real classy paper. Electronic Body Massacre. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay.
This is by Sarah Durbin, by the way, so she's one of the listeners. She's been waiting for one of hers to come out. So obviously it doesn't necessarily have to be about what it says. We could go anywhere with it. If you have any ideas or anything, we'll just spin it until we figure it out.
Okay. So you got like, it's sci-fi sort of vibe, huh?
I kind of, I think because I'm in the industrial scene, the electronic body music is what they call it, EBM, and she's like calling it electronic body massacre. So I would assume like some sort of electronic music theme. That's like a genre, by the way, if you're not familiar.
It's called body music?
Yeah, it's called EBM.
Electronic body music. That sounds freaky as hell too.
It's like mostly bass music, like bass that like bounces around kind of. It's not like dubstep or anything like that. It's just like 4 on the floor, straight, like, and with like a bass line that's kind of bouncy. I don't know how to explain it. Going with what I know about EBM and electronic body massacre, maybe there's some guy who's like a producer who kills people to his music. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of off the top.
Or you can kind of do like a Philip K. Dick, like robot sort of vibe to it.
Ooh. Or his music infects people to kill other people.
Or what if it's like a Tetsuya Iron Man style, like it starts taking them over, like some electronic. Yeah. Or like Superman 3. That shit scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Someone just posted that online recently, and I was like, I had like a childhood moment where I was like, oh my God, I remember that. It was in part 3. Yeah. His eyes glazed over and like
it goes down her throat. Like that always freaked me out. Like the technology stuff, kind of like the metal or whatever starts like taking over her face, goes down her throat, goes like, and then she turns into like part of the wall or whatever. Like that was, wild as hell.
That's and not a kid's movie.
Also Richard Pryor snow skis down the side of a building and is okay. A weird one.
The reality of the whole situation. It's been a while since I've watched that.
Is that the one where he turns bad too? There's a lot goes on in that one.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was like all of a sudden like trying to manipulate, or he was like one of the guys that like tricked Superman.
That's 4, I think. 4 is the one where he gets scratched by the sun dude. Those are some stupid ass movies, but like he gets like irradiated by the sun dude, right? And then like becomes the mean version of Superman.
Yeah, I think the 4th one didn't it have nuclear weapons or something.
Yeah, he throws nukes into the sun. all fodder for electronic body massacre.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. So he's inspired by Superman 3 and 4.
Yeah, he must be a maniac then.
So how do we spin this? What kind of character? So we obviously have the guy who creates the music or whatever. Do we want him front and center? Or do we want the characters to be kind of fall into his world and you kind of find out about him as it goes? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to do he's the owner of like an old mansion or some shit, and they're coming to this is a nightmare, like do like one of those weekend shows, like a festival or something where they're like in the middle of that.
Oh yeah, like a music festival of some sort, you're saying?
Yeah, they're away from home.
What if he's like in this like secluded tent or something, like it's like a quiet tent where everything's really dark and kind of ritualistic almost, and and people are like kind of weirded out, like regular Joe like party kids are like going in this tent like and then they suddenly feel very uncomfortable, and one of the guys of course is just the cool guy, so he goes in there and tries to like ham it up with like people.
Oh my God, I'm so fucked up.
Yeah, man, what the fuck is this place?
Ew, what the fuck?
Looks like a fucking Halloween party or something, man.
Tommy, you picked the weirdest places to party.
Yeah, but we only live once, right? Fuck it, I'm in.
Whatever.
Well, step right up, ladies, because it's time to enter the land of the bizarre. Oh, all right, yeah!
Okay, yeah, like, no. This is weird.
Is that fucking Dracula? Chicks look freaky, man. What up, Frank?
Shut the fuck up. Oh my God.
Yeah, what if they're like, he's like this DJ or whatever is like, or producer is like it's almost like a traveling show, and you don't know that the thing's gonna like show up in your town or whatever, so it's like kind of creepy carnival sort of vibe, or like a gathering of the Juggalos, if you will, like a roving gathering.
Oh, I like that. Almost like Phantasm too.
Yeah, and he's like collecting like either an army or souls or some shit.
Ooh. What if like every town doesn't remember him? You know, like it's like they have this familiar sort of memory of it, but they don't really remember what happened. You know, so it's like if and when somebody tries to investigate their lost friend, which is kind of typical and stereotypical, but whatever. It kind of
that'd be cool if they have to go. It happened like the opening is like, you know, you see it go down or whatever in their town, and then they're like 2 towns over trying to find like where it's going to show up again or whatever. And there's like like a myth to like, you know, whatever the rules of like it's got to be this time of the season or whatever.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's like her friends, like one of the people's friends is missing out of this group. She was supposed to go, he or she, and then they all of a sudden like can't find them, and they're like, everybody's like, well, I don't know where she is. I guess she just left, you know. And it's a year later, and she's been searching for her friend this whole time and investigating. And it almost kind of spins to the next year when it's like a week away from the next event, you know?
Yeah, it'd be cool too if she's like roaming the countryside, like looking for her or whatever. So it's like, yeah, she's been searching this whole year because it shows up in different places, but she hadn't been able to find it or whatever. And she's back in town then, maybe.
Right. And all she has is like a ripped piece of flyer for this one event.
Yeah.
That doesn't
It's like back in the day when you would have to actually try and find where something was at. And
right.
Or you heard like rumors of like, yeah, there's a show that's going to be in this warehouse this night or whatever, but you had to find it.
Yeah, I called the number, but it's disconnected. I tried to figure out what it is. Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome, actually. See, now we got it. So do we want to be a girl then? Obviously, it feels like it should be.
Oh, always.
Okay, because I feel like it would be like her friend Jessica or whoever is the one that disappeared, and she's like going out of it, and her boyfriend's trying to help her, or her girlfriend, whatever we want, really, and she's like losing her relationship with this other person because she's so invested, which is kind of typical, but we can make it different, you know. Like it's putting a strain on their friendships and relationships and stuff like that because she's so obsessed with it. And then there's gonna be
it's supposed to be like her ex or something, maybe.
Yeah, like
or maybe her buddy, you're saying, or a friend.
It could be her friend, or it could be her ex. Like maybe her ex is trying to get her to come out and like make amends or whatever by going to this music festival or whatever for EBM. And then she doesn't go because she doesn't do it, but she decides to go contact them afterwards. And then that's when the whole thing starts unveiling that they're missing and disappeared, and nobody cares about it. Nobody wants to do a research on it and can't find anything about this EBM event. What do we call the EBM event? Just Electronic Body Massacre?
Yeah, it feels like you got to tie that in.
Right.
Because you're saying it's electronic body music, right? So
right. There's got to be some other like people that she meets obviously along the way. Who would she team up with? And what's her name? What do we want to call her?
Are there like code names in that that music scene? I have no. Is this like
no? Well, I would think she would just be like the regular Joe kind of person. Like she wouldn't even necessarily belong to the scene, but her friend did, or her ex.
Joe, then.
What is it?
Joe, regular Joe.
Oh, Joe. Okay.
No, Joe, as in the girl who's
Joe. Oh, yeah. Got it. Okay. I'm writing this down so if we start getting too many characters, I won't forget. Yeah,
I think it's cool that, again, like if she's like on a quest, like that gives her, you know, an engine to her story, and then gives her like a reason to meet people along the way. Like you kind of almost, it's creepier if it's like she's going in alone, you know, and she's meeting people there at the event.
Ooh, what if she met like a homeless, like not homeless, but somebody that's like astray from she meets somebody that actually went to it and somehow remembers it, even though nobody else does. And maybe they're like having like real problems with like drugs, or, you know, they're crazy or whatever you want to call it. And then maybe they get killed or something in the process of it. Somehow.
Oh, they got to. Part of it too, Body Massacre to me feels like it's like he's making like a Frankenstein, or he's taking pieces or something, or like a Frankenstein army or some shit. Because
I'm making
like
the perfect body movement.
Like, yeah, or like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of vibe where it's like pieces of people.
Okay. What if, maybe nobody's dancing properly to his music, so he's... So he builds the perfect dancer.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe he just
turned into like a dance off.
Right. Maybe he just has like, maybe it doesn't even work. Like maybe they don't even come to life, but he still has this weird project. You know what I mean? Like he's just crazy. But the music still has some sort of, I don't know. I feel like the music needs to be kind of really into like infecting almost. Mm-hmm. Either makes people forget or what? How could we spin that? Because like I feel like the background might be needed.
I like the make people forget thing. Like, and it feels like he's either collecting specific people, or he's got like a reason for it. Looking up this electronic body music, another a related search to it is agrotech. What is that? That sounds rad.
Technically, that's what my band was. I was in a band called Black Ops, and it's like screaming over electronic dance music. That's essentially
all right.
Yeah, very heavy bass lines, and I don't know how to explain it. It's very difficult. It's a very niche kind of genre in some ways, but it's worldwide. Mm-hmm. So compared to other ones, like, you know, it's very small compared. But there's like places in Europe and stuff that do it and don't even call it like EDM, and they don't even realize it. You ever heard of a band called Gestaffelstein?
I have not. No. Breakcore.
You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, no, it's not my vibes. Skinny Puppy, was that a?
Well, they had this.
Skinny Puppy.
You might. Well, it's different than Skinny Puppy, but like you might have seen the video. It's called this one. It's called Pursuit. This is like a Pursuit is like this pretty killer video. This will give you an idea. This they don't even call this EBM, but it is technically EBM. Yeah, it's kind of a really cool looking video, but it's like
skip ahead a little bit. Oh, this is cool. What if it was like a big I mean, I like the circus tent sort of vibe, but what if like there's a shot in here where they're like in some like super shishi mansion sort of thing?
Okay.
Like Rococo style. Like what if you did all of that like the mansion itself, it like moves. It like shows up in different.
No, I mean that would make sense. I mean, if you could do a mansion, I don't know if that they would necessarily be rich in my mind, but they definitely could house it at those places or warehouses or something. I don't know, where there's like no remnants of anything there, and even the people who own the property have no idea what anybody's talking about when it's over.
Like, what's the style of it? Would it be like kind of gnarly, like warehousey, grungy shit, or would it be like high end? You know, like fashion-y type stuff or whatever. Like, how would you? Like, what world would you set it in?
Typically EBM is kind of like a darker like version. Like
and you said the industrial stuff. It's kind of
yes. It's very much industrial scene. I mean, EBM isn't just specifically exclusive to that technically, but yeah. I mean, it's mostly like, you know, black clothes and you know, you can be well dressed or just military dressed or, you know, military-esque, you know.
A lot of rubber.
Yeah, that too. I mean, that's for sure. A lot of latex and tongues. I mean, I've seen it all, man, for that kind of music. So, okay. So how about we just do, are you cool with a warehouse?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Because the warehouse just makes me think of like festival or something, you know, pop-up location where you call up like the old rave days and then like go and have fun, and then it gets shut down by helicopters, etc. But this one won't be, because obviously it's a very clandestine operation. So,
and I like the whole thing being like, it's like old school style where it's like the fun of it is having to try and find the place as opposed to like, because, you know, in like horror movies now, you always have to, how do you explain away the cell phone?
Ooh. And there's like specific people who are in on the kill in a way, but have no idea that they're in on the kill. Does that make sense? So like they go to a 7-Eleven or whatever the fuck it is, and all of a sudden like this person will be like, that'll be $9.75. And then they'll be like, you know, whatever the guy's name is or the party is, he like tilts his head down almost like he's being possessed and is like, gives them details for the next clue. Do you know what I mean? Like it's this mystery for them.
Yeah, that's dope.
Hello.
I just need this and a pack of Marlboros.
Okay, no problem. Let me get that. All right, here you go.
Okay.
All right, that looks like it's going to be
6, 6, 6.
What the fuck?
Hi, Joe.
Okay.
Are you looking for something?
Who the fuck are you?
1, 2, Sycamore.
about 9:45.
Okay, what the fuck?
Is everything okay, ma'am?
Yeah, everything's fine.
I just kind of like that because it kind of gives you that eerie, like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, it'd be cool to even then, like, you have, like, you know, the cold open would be like a year ago or whatever, and then the rest of it almost takes place like in a night, like after hours or something. Like she's trying to get to this thing and get out. She's trying to find her friend, I guess, and then get her out.
Right, and all of her friends beside, well, do you think her friends should forget that person, that she even existed?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's creepy. Yeah, she's like, she wasn't involved in it as much the last time, and she had to leave earlier, like something before like Super went down. So she's like the only one who still remembers her. Like, would be kind of creepy.
Be kind of interesting if somehow she became sort of addicted to drugs, and that's part of the reason why she remembers somehow, because some sort of, I don't know.
It blocked her.
Yeah, it blocks their control over her and everybody else, and it kind of drives her crazy, makes her want to do more of it because...
I like a pro-drug, though. Pro-drug movie.
I mean, it definitely, I think, fits into that. Not necessarily that all EBM people do drugs, or
but all drugs are ABM people, or something, however that is.
It makes you want to EBM, so I mean, yeah. Yeah, I like that. So, so this takes place in like a night. So we fast forward to, well, maybe it's a couple of days, but we speed it up. So it's like, you know, we show her trials and tribulations a little bit, so you care for her, I guess. And then her friends seemingly not caring about what happened a year ago. And how does she find out about the next one?
Well, then maybe she hasn't been like looking for it, and like you were saying, this is just the next year it's coming around, like it's been a year or whatever, and it's like there was some symbol or something that like jars her memory, or she's like, oh my god, like I have to go to this, and she doesn't necessarily know why, or she's trying to like kind of piece it together as it goes, like what it even is.
Have some dreams and stuff like chucked in there to kind of like trigger her a little bit. Yeah,
and it'd be like this. I mean, I like that almost she feels like maybe it was like, you know, the lost weekend, like she forgot it, you know, from the drug haze or whatever. But it was like she's the only one who's able to remember it because of that as well. It's kind of cool.
And also, I think it'd be cool. Like, I know this is getting very specific, but she's like getting ready to pick out her outfit or whatever it is. And as she's pulling something out of the closet or whatever, a box of like old photos falls, and it's like one of the pictures of her friend. And she's like, asks like her friend, like, who's this? I don't know.
Yeah, her researching. Then you need to do it where that'd be rad if it's not even her friend, it's like her sister or something that's missing, and it's like,
and you don't tell anybody until the end that it's actually her sister. Yeah, that's cool.
She's like researching basically who this missing person is. Like she knows who she is, or she's got like a nagging suspicion, but doesn't necessarily know that. That'd be creepy.
Yeah, kind of almost like what's that movie that they did with where they did it all in reverse in a way. I don't want to do the whole movie. Yeah, Memento, but in a way where you kind of find out what the hell. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like again through this, and it makes sense of like she'd be. I mean, you have the engine for it of like her actually like looking into the event or whatever it is. You know. I like that. So who do we want to call this EBM guy, like who makes this music that causes people to either kill or forget, kill and forget?
Kill and or forget.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we find out that they actually murder everybody there, and then they use the body parts for some sort of like electronic body art. That's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like he has this like collage of people, and it's all like pulleyed and going to the beat of the music of his music.
Or he has like a freak show or something he takes around with him.
Oh yeah.
And it's all these people that he's trapped in there from before.
Ooh, I like that.
And he's the agrotech.
We'll call him Ag. I don't know. So Joe, we got Jessica's the girl that disappeared, her sister. We don't find that out until the end, of course. We got Ag, who is the guy who runs everything. He might have an alias or something like that. Or maybe he doesn't even have a name and people just kind of like wonder who the hell he is, but they hear a tale of him or know of his music or something. Unless
I like this. The name, the top agrotech artist, Suicide Commando.
Right.
I like that.
I played with
Combi
them.
Christ.
I played with Suicide
And then
Commando.
Agnoise.
Aganoise. Yeah.
Man, this is awesome. I'm learning something new today.
Hey, you should check out my music. I'll plug that shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, plug it. Did your band tour?
Yeah, we went on a 34-day tour with Aesthetic Perfection and a band called XRX from Germany, all over North America. It was pretty intense.
So you kind of did the tour thing like we're talking about.
Yes, that's what, yeah. So, but
was
this will be.
Was it a show or was it a whole festival kind of thing?
Oh, we did festivals. I think we did like 2 or 3 festivals along the tour, and then like individual shows as we went. So, but yeah, maybe that's how it is. It's the dark tour.
There we go. I like that.
Yeah. So if everybody forgets that this exists, but everybody gets excited somehow, maybe they hear like a snip of it on like the radio, or they hear it in a podcast, or they hear it however we consume media on Facebook. But for whatever reason,
like the Pied Piper sort of thing, like it keeps calling you every year, sort of thing.
Exactly what I was thinking. So like when it's time, the day of, everybody wants to go, and people who don't even belong to the scene end up showing up. And not everybody. Like I feel like it has to be, because if you did everybody, then it would just be the whole town's dead, right?
Right. No, it's people like receptive to that thing, but I mean they can come from out of town too. Like people, again, the gathering style, like make the pilgrimage to this thing would be kind of cool.
Maybe
I mean, what is he like a monster? Is there like a monster that you can like anchor the bad guy with, or is it like I feel like what's his motivation for doing this would help kind of. Yeah,
that's a really good point. Well, I mean, if you think about it, maybe he's like, his music isn't appreciated as much, and somehow he's, this is like maybe way back. Maybe we could spin it supernatural wise. And he sort of sells his soul sort of thing, or at least worships some sort of demon or something.
He's got to feed the beast with these like soul slaves or whatever.
Right, and it's a very hungry beast at that.
I call upon the Dark Underlords, son of Parsitharath. Give me your power! I give you the sacrifice! To know that I am a worthy vessel. Watch! He who summons me must feed me. Yes, I will feed the beast of unholy terror.
So, and maybe because he doesn't actually feed it well enough, or becomes kind of like, thinks he's bigger than the demon takes over some of the body parts. I'm like getting wild here, but like,
here we go.
He takes over the body parts, and then that's when it kills even him. It's like a
that's
bitter.
Your like down moment into Act 3.
Yeah, maybe it like some of the body parts like gather together at the very end, and then slaps him. Like we're talking like hundreds of bodies. It just like crushes him and then takes over him in some way. I mean, this is cheesy.
That'd be cool if she like reverses the like. Again, like music to music, if she kind of figures out how to reverse engineer, like controlling the body parts or the demon, or like there's some way she figures out kind of how to undo the spell of the music.
She's got to figure out which song was the one that like it was the incantation to bring the supernatural beast to life, the demon, and then
because it feels like if you've got this if this is your milieu of the music show sort of thing, it's like you got to kind of mix that music into the finale as well. Or like, what's the thing that kind of turns on it?
That's a good point. Well, like, it seems too simple to just say, oh, play it backwards, you know, like pick the song. That's too typical, you know?
She got to win the crowd over. It's like, she's got to make her own, like, even better song or something.
Yeah. She DJs herself to salvation.
Yep.
All right. This next beat is going out to, just kidding.
Yeah.
This next one goes out to my homeboy Jesus.
To the hell spawn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be some way. I mean, like, you know, I mean, obviously we're getting a little wild in this. So, I mean, I guess if we're going to go that wild, I mean, how would you defeat it? How do you think would be the best sweet ending?
I think it'd be cool if she almost is able to either sacrifice, like I always like kind of bittersweet or like sort of like twist, like true horror endings where it's kind of fucked up, you know, like what was the, I thought it was so good. The Invitation.
Oh, yes.
The ending to that where they get a win, that spoiler alert, they get a win, you know, like they win the individual small thing, but then they see like, oh shit, we're one of however many houses.
It's only just begun.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's kind of a cool, like to me, satisfying ending, but there's much more, you know, won the battle, not the war kind of thing. So you could do where, you know, she takes this guy down, but he's one of however many, you know,
EBM artists there are
that are going down. Yeah, yeah.
You hear that, guys? EBM is the cause of all the evil. I like that though. I love stuff like that. So yeah, the end of Invitation was just amazing. It was like, oh wow, it goes further. Like, oh yeah, I like that. So maybe she's kind of like, maybe they surround her after she kills the beast, the demon or whatever. The amalgamation of Ag, the EBM artist, and her, and because of that, she now becomes sort of the Mad Max, like, not Mad Max, but you know what I mean, like the olden days where they would like, if you defeat our master, then you are the master.
Yep. Well, I like that even too of like there's kind of a reveal of like he was helping again, like satiate the demon or whatever. So somebody's got to do that. So like she's maybe stopped the guy from doing it and in that learned like, oh shit, this is like a thing that's got to keep going on or else, you know, they'll start taking over the world kind of thing. We got to feed young souls.
She thinks she can bring back her sister or, you know, or change it some way to work for her and for the better good or for the betterment of whatever. Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Well, now we got to kind of talk about like what happens in these tents because like in the very beginning opening, like what would happen? Like what would we see or the viewers see?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I think in the opening, you have to, yeah, you're right. You have to show kind of what's the Texas Chainsaw thing? Does he have a room full of meat or is it, you know, I mean, even in Blade, where they're dancing, they
That's so funny that you say that. That's exactly what I was thinking. Where like they're all omnipresent of whoever that guy was that was in the thing and they're all kind of looking at him. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I think
you got to see it kind of go down of like what he does. Like, is it body parts or souls or what's the deal?
Right. I think that the one dickhead hammy guy that comes in is like kind of talking shit to people or like hitting on girls, like a real sleazy bag, like kind of guy. And, he doesn't realize that he's just walked into the fucking, you know, wolf's den. Mm-hmm. Somehow he's got to have a really, really good death somehow. And then everybody starts running and they get yanked in. You maybe see somebody get dragged in through the door or something like that. And then it's like screams and then title.
Yep. Is it like a supernatural sort of thing, you think? Or is he, or is he a slasher? Or like what's the,
I mean, in the beginning, we wouldn't know. But I mean, I guess if we're going to go the demon route, I mean, I guess it is kind of, or unless you want
supernatural, but maybe you think initially that it is like earthborn sort of scary slasher dude, but then you find out there's something occult behind it.
That would be better because then it would kind of unravel a little bit more and go further. Yeah. So maybe just a slice of the throat. That'd be cool too
if you link it to like how she's investigating it too. It's like you link it to some kind of demonic like myth or whatever would be kind of cool. And like this is just the newest like version of it. Like this has been going on for forever, like different forms of music or different forms of like revelry that draws people in, you know, and the demon kind of uses that.
Yeah, it used to be country, but now it's 2020.
Used to be country and or Western.
One of my favorite things that we've talked about so far is like, I feel like there should be breadcrumb people, like, you know, that just stop whatever they're doing in the middle of something and then just like focus in on her as she's like getting closer to this, because it's just unsettling, you know, when someone's like talking to like just normal life, everything, and then all of a sudden turns to them, follow the path, you know, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like I think of like a homeless guy who is just on the corner like doing a sign or something like that, and she throws change and then he grabs her hand and says something and then goes back to doing whatever it is that he was doing before normally, and she's like, "Wait, what did you say to me?" He's like, "You got any change?"
Yeah, that's how you find the place, or
right.
Excuse me, ma'am, do you have some change?
Oh, sorry, what'd you say?
Can you spare your soul?
Oh my God.
567 West Greenfield.
Jesus.
Good luck, Joe.
Change.
Yeah.
If
Here.
you got anything.
No problem. Here you go. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry about that.
This goddamn town's losing its fucking mind.
Yeah, like something, just little clues here and there, and because like I want this omnipresent feel, like this vibe, you know.
It'd be dope where it's like, why is she specifically being drawn to this too? Like, is there something some reason that they need her there or whatever, you know? Like, why her, why now, kind of thing. Yeah, I get that note all the time.
Maybe they knew
putting on my suit,
like the entities that be or whatever the powers that be, like picked her for a reason to basically dethrone the ag guy.
Yeah, he's like kind of, they're using him up. He's running out of steam.
Right. Yeah, I like that. That's actually pretty cool. Do you think some people should die? Like maybe they should
always.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, I mean, like maybe the people that are like, you know, in on the whatever, they like sometimes kill people or try to kill her. And then go back to doing whatever they're doing and don't even realize why they have a knife or blood on their hands.
I like that.
I mean, it sounds cool, but it's just funny to me thinking about situations like that. So we got some little elements that we can fill in there. Like, do you have any other, like we have the 7-Eleven guy, we have the homeless guy. I think maybe doing the murder thing on the way might be too much. And just keep more of an omnipresent thing, and then some people. Yeah,
like again, like her, like you're meeting people as like a mystery unraveling as you're going through this whole like festival is kind of cool, because you can kind of play out like bits of the festival itself, like you're saying, in different tents, or she's backstage at some point, like she knows people, or you know, it's like you can kind of go through the whole, like that's your haunted house is that festival, and that'd be kind of cool. I've never seen something like that.
Okay. Yeah, well, have you seen that? I don't know what it was. Hellfest kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Where they like all these people going.
Do like her. Is the whole thing take place there?
It's well, they're at I don't remember exact, but they go to a festival and then everybody starts getting killed, sort of. Mm-hmm. So you're saying there's this tent that is off the beaten path a little bit, and people are going to it in this festival and don't even realize it exists, except for a few.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like once you get there, it's like, you know, you kind of need to like meet people, kind of explain what the thing is, like burn a little time through that before you get into like the final boss sort of stage. You know, does a really good job of that is I just watched it or rewatched it recently. Hellraiser. It's Part so 3? Good how it's like, part 1.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's so smart how it's stuck in this one room almost, you know, but like, they keep coming back and forth between like the different, you know, like the guy obviously getting fed blood or whatever. And like, they just do such a lot with a little. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, that's a great film. I still like 2 and I saw 3, but yeah.
Which is the space one?
Oh God. Yeah. That's the 4th one, right?
Yeah.
Hellraiser in space.
That'll be the sequel to this, like, is them in space, raving in space.
Like, I feel like we have to have, like, some sort of, like, hysteria in the background that's kind of sweeping the nation. I don't want to say pandemic, but I mean, like, some sort of, like, mass hysteria that you might see on, like, TV stations or, like, you know, in the background, sort of. And, like, and it starts to kind of get into the streets a little bit, maybe. But the real thing is that the closer she gets to this guy, this EBM guy, it gets worse and worse and worse, and more people start seeming like possessed, or I don't want to say possessed, but you know, where they're like being taken over a little bit. I think it would be,
that's cool.
And I want to see, like, we got to have a couple of deaths along the way, so just to sprinkle in somehow. But do you have any ideas or suggestions that we could do that? Or
I mean, it's like, it almost sounds like it's like she's walking into like an abattoir kind of thing, where it's like, and again, it's like, okay, are there people, like, does he want, like, are they controlling them, or does he need, like you were saying, yeah, the bodies to kind of reanimate, like a zombie army kind of thing, or like what's he getting out of drawing those people there? What's going down throughout the whole thing? Like, if it is, he needs pieces. I mean, even again, Texas Chainsaw, because I watched that not too long ago too. It's like, it's pretty simple. Obviously, it's just like them in that house, and then that's kind of like they keep just coming back and forth to the house itself, and then they have the dinner.
I think it might have started out as like rather benign, like kind of like selfish.
You know what you could do? You could kind of like in Texas Chainsaw, they're luring people to this thing. So we could we meet everyone, like the group of friends or whatever, and our protagonists, they almost kind of split up because they're going to meet there that night. So we can kind of be with them a little bit. And that's how you get like some of the first kills or whatever, is like when the friends show up and we start kind of seeing how the festival itself works itself out. And then you start getting deaths. That way she shows up, like weird shit's going down. She's trying to kind of figure out. She probably even like sees her sister there or whoever she's like going there to look for.
Ooh.
And gets through the thing, like a maze kind of with that, you know.
Ooh, do you think that she should see her to kind of like bait her to keep coming a little bit, or?
Yeah, like she's drawing her in, or it's not even her anymore. It's
right.
Not even her sister.
It's
like
just the powers that be, whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah, it is kind of like Alice in Wonderland sort of vibe. Like she's just getting led into this thing.
Ooh, that would be cool if you had like sort of a sub layer of that, like very low key, you know, underneath it, to try to like, she drinks, she eats, like something, you know, she meets like the wise guy smoking a pipe or something. That's the homeless guy smoking like some sort of like pipe outside or something like that, you know, like you could just low key put those in there. That'd be kind of cool.
Yep. A little Matrix vibe too.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
Keep this thing going Matrix for some reason. I guess that's kind of industrial, right?
I mean, technically,
industrial sci-fi.
Yeah. Like some of the scenes, music movies are like, Hardware. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Richard Stanley's Hardware a little bit.
I said Big Stanley. He's the man.
Yeah, did you see the new movie, by the way?
I did. My buddy who cut on Lowlife, he cut that as well.
Really? Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brett W. Bachman. And now he's like, he cut Mandy as well. He's like, he's got like 3 or 4 of Nick Cage's movies recently.
It's kind of hard to avoid now. He's got this like new thing. I'm all for it. I don't care. He's back. I'd rather see him in this stuff than like fucking National Treasure. Like, come on, man.
100%.
All right. In the tent, let's be real descriptive in the very beginning. Maybe someone just stabs him in the head with like a knife. The talky guy, the guy who's like being an asshole and like, he just gets stabbed right in the head, and then you hear screams and stuff, and then the outside picture of the tent or building, whatever, screams and
Electronic Body Massacre.
Yes, exactly. Like, a big sweeping transition to the sound of a slam, and it's like Electronic Body Massacre, and then the music kicks in. And
cool then too is like the audience knows someone's died there, right? And then she's kind of like, our protagonist is piecing together like that her sister or friend or whoever is even missing. And we know like, oh shit, she probably got killed at the thing. But why didn't she remember? Like, that's a cool mystery to kind of unravel.
Wouldn't it be interesting if the girl Jo, who says that she can't find her friend Jessica, somehow told herself that she never went, but she was actually there the whole time? time. So she's just really coming back to the place where she set herself off. You know, like they set her
that'd be cool
up.
too if like she got like, you know how like sometimes you'll get on social media, they'll send you like pictures from a year ago or whatever, and it's like her at this event, and she's like, I don't even remember being there. Like, what? And who is this person I'm there with, and everything too. It'd be kind of a cool way to start getting you back into it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. And plus, it takes in some of the more modern, things like social media, because like I'm a nut about that kind of stuff, because like the long term effects of social media on our psyches and shit. So yeah, that sounds awesome. So when we fast forward, how many days are in between her actually going there? And
it's her. I mean, I like kind of your idea of like she's got to find the place,
right? So it's over a few days.
People. So yeah, she's like going around trying to find how to get to it. Like it's this coming weekend or whatever, basically.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So it's like, Wednesday she's in this state and she's like trying to figure it out, and she gets a clue and she goes to this other city, and it's like slowly dwindles down to this one location of this old abandoned mansion, maybe, that is like right next to the festival, and and that's where like she gets led to go to this other party that they don't really announce, and it's this like really clandestine operation there, but it's part of the festival. You as a viewer, you think anyway. But yeah, so maybe she gets there, and are now people like, do you think she finds out right away what's going on, or does it have to seep into her and then people start dying and then she tries to stop it, and then it's like this cat and mouse game? Or
and again, like why is she like, what, they must need something out of her if they don't just immediately kill her. So it's like she's got to have something to do with whatever their plan is.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So she wouldn't have, would it be too twisty to say she killed her own sister?
Maybe that's then what you find out. That's kind of cool. Is like she was controlled,
right? But like also there was like some sort of hidden like anger towards her sister that got out of control because of her being controlled, and somehow it made her forget so that she could find her way.
It's like the signal or the crazies or whatever kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Like she gets sent. Yeah, it like makes your base needs.
You almost fucked my wife. Do you remember that in the signal?
Yeah.
I love that movie. Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. I kind of like that somehow. And so maybe she gives into it because she's like, maybe this is who I really am. And then maybe she fights back against the power. Like we already talked about Ag kind of getting embraced by this. He's not cutting the fucking demon's work for him. And he's getting too big of a head, for the demonic entity or whatever that he's supposedly worshiping. But now Ag thinks he's bigger than him. They have some sort of conversation with her. He does. And then he gets overtaken by it. The demonic entity, by the body parts that he's collecting in the back, which it seems like a really hard task to carry all these bodies to every new location,
Yeah, he's got a whole like army of other mind controlled EBM slaves.
Right, yeah, like his minions, his EBM minions, his EB minions.
There we go. It's all like he's like, I'm sitting around trying to figure out how to theme all this stuff.
So do you think like maybe like there's a big pile or some sort of artistic display behind the stage or something like that, and it's like teeming and
it's got to be that symbol or whatever. Yeah,
like, oh, I see what you mean. And maybe there's got to be some sort of symbol
like
on the
symbol
wall.
Keeps kind of like, like his symbol or whatever, like it keeps like leading people to it, or that's how she kind of gets a clue, like, oh, I've been here before, I've seen that symbol before. Like something visual too,
Okay, gotcha. This sounds like a $10 million movie right now, where we're getting to, no, I'm kidding, it wouldn't be that much.
Nah.
You can make it work on probably like what? $1 million, you think? $2 billion? If you're really good?
Yeah. Easy. So
you're saying that
a lot of smoke and lights, no people.
Right.
No crowds.
Yeah, that's the tough part. So you're saying the symbol on the wall, like a pentagram or something, or some sort of
whatever his.
It's just EBM. There's got to be a symbol or something.
That is cool. Like, again, he's just luring, because we're saying like they're luring souls there to feed the demon is kind of cool. Of like, it being some kind of weird ritualistic, again, sort of grounded in reality thing that you kind of turn into his symbol would be cool.
Would be interesting if like he had like all these synthesizers and everything everywhere, like mixed in with like body parts, like not necessarily the keys or fingers or anything weird like that, but just like pressed up against some of the body parts. And like when he's creating this stuff and recording or whatever, it kind of gives itself a new life. It's like his way of worshiping the demon or whatever. Or is that too much?
Yeah, that's cool. No, I like that. That's cool.
Okay.
Never too much. Never too much.
It's just a matter of budget, really, if we were able to make it. But we can do anything we want here. Yeah, so they have a showdown. Joe and this guy, he gets taken by this fleshy mass that basically folds him into that. Now, does she kill him that he falls into this? And then, like, as it's about to attack her, it almost kind of embraces her and doesn't do anything? And this is,
or she's like left. She's like you said, last man standing sort of vibe.
Right. Like, I feel like she's got to fight off some people. I mean, it seems weird, like, this girl that we have no idea about her skills of killing, but somehow she like kills a few people and then gets to him, the main guy. Some of his lackeys, I guess, get killed off. And then she stabs him in the head and he falls back into that thing. And that's when it embraces her. How would we paint that?
I mean, does it talk to her, or like she hears it? That'd be cool if it like, again, like this siren song, like through the music, like that's how it communicates with people's minds or whatever. So then you could kind of have her hearing it in her head. I
feel like remember we were talking about like the 7-Eleven, the homeless guy and all that, like there's a deeper voice that comes out of there when they are taken over and their head tilts forward a little bit. So maybe that's the same voice that she hears.
Yep. Yeah. It's been like drawing her there. Cause then you can start getting into like, oh shit, this is a trap I've been falling into.
Right.
Oh man. What if he did it where it was like, all that's been planted. Like there is no sister or whatever. Like that's just been there to lead her into that place.
Oh my God.
Like, it's like how you get like kind of, they like, it piques your interest sort of like, and then that even plays into the audience would be expecting like, yeah, awesome. This is like a reason why they're going in through this thing. So like they're buying it the whole time too.
That's cool. So like, okay. So like when she's getting embraced, she almost gives up and then she fights her way out of it or something or and then she's like, where's my fucking sister? And like, and they're like, and then it's like, you haven't figured it out yet, have you? Or, some sort of.
Yeah.
That's pretty
cool.
We
needed you to kind of continue this. That'd be dope.
Yeah. So she thinks like it manipulated her to think that she had a sister, that she even killed her sister, that she's going through all these like self-realizations, but even those are fabricated so that she's really just there to become whatever it is that they want to make of her. And it just sort of, I think it'd be cool. Like, how would we do it? But like, maybe it just lifts her up and there's just like this light and it's like this like growing sound of like the EBM and stuff. And then it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Muted, sort of like it's on the other side of the wall. And then it grows and grows and grows. You see her lift up with her arms and legs spread open. And then she just opens her eyes and that's boom. That's the credits. And it's just EBM. You got to have EBM in it.
You got to twice.
Tell me now, where is she?
Still don't remember? I thought you would have figured it out by now.
Tell me now!
There never was a sister. Just your desire to feed me.
No!
And now you will serve me and feed me.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I like that. I mean, we would definitely, obviously, if we had more time, flesh out more kills and like how things went. But I mean, what do you think?
I'm feeling it.
Yeah. So when are we gonna make this, Ryan?
I like the setting, and that twist would be cool.
The twist is really that really makes it pay off, I think. I mean, I sometimes it's nice, I think, just to leave things kind of, open a little bit. Some people get mad about that.
Yeah, no.
I like that because it's like, where does she go next?
You have to. Yep.
We gotta have.
Yeah, it begs the question. You gotta have sequels,
right? EBM2.
Yeah.
Electronic Body Massacre Worldwide Tour.
There we go.
So what would the tagline be for this? Like the sort of the catchy thing that you put on the movie.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Taglines are not easy.
Yeah, I know, because they all seem cheesy.
You wanted to kind of like feed into the EBM genre as well.
Well, there's a song by Combi Christ, one of the bands that you mentioned earlier, and they have a song called "Get Your Body Beat."
That's
yeah,
cool.
"Get Your Body Beat" would be kind of elusive, so you wouldn't really know. Doesn't really spoil anything.
Yeah, but it kind of works with the body in the title too.
Yeah, I think that's good, man. I mean, if you got another one.
No, that's good. I like that. Because you wanted to kind of feed into the world, and you're kind of suggesting like, oh, this is authentic, and this feeds into like what this scene is, but then you kind of, notch it up a bit.
Yeah, I think so. Like, do you have any ideas of who you would cast? Like, just out of curiosity, if you were to make this kind of thing, like which characters would play who? It could be anybody, because we can afford anybody in our imaginations.
Sure. You know who I really like? She's in Stranger Things. She's like Uma Thurman's daughter. She's rad.
Oh, which one's she? Oh, the ice cream girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she's really cool. That's I would totally be all about that.
Yeah.
She was one of my favorite new
you
characters.
Want someone kind of, you want someone, I mean, I feel like she's got like a cool, I mean, she's obviously going to like blow up, but like she's got like a cool strength to her as well, and seems like, smart, capable.
Likeable. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one. What about the ag guy?
Nick Cage as ag.
I mean, you have no complaints from me on that one. I know some people get weirdly like hatred towards him these days, but I'm all about it. So yeah,
man, wild at heart, Nick Cage in there, just unleashing the beast. I'm down for it.
Honey, did I ever tell you what the symbol of this here snakeskin jacket was? It symbolizes my belief in the personal freedom,
individual freedoms.
Yeah, dude, I love that fucking movie.
Love it.
All right, man. Well, hey, man, congrats on that. Thank you so much for helping me work on that. It was fun, man. It's been a while. Really fun. I'm a little rusty too, so it's like,
yeah, you got to work out. It's fun to even full disclosure, you asked for 3 names to throw in the hat, and I gave you like 1 million. But it was a fun exercise. Like, I'm actually probably going to start. I was talking to my writing partner earlier today before I jumped on here, and I was throwing some of those names, and he threw some more out. But it's like a really good like sort of brain teaser exercise to get your mind rolling. So
it really is.
Just even coming up with goofy names that you can kind of then figure out. Oh, that'd be a cool. Whatever. So that's a dope exercise for any writers out there that want to.
Well, that's the idea, is that I want to get more writers, directors, and people who are creative on the show to start doing these because like it's not everybody can ride the creative wave in your mind, and it can be very intimidating for a lot of people. But once you just go with it, it just kind of starts to flow, So
yeah. And this is a little bit of how we did Lowlife. Like, there were 5 writers total in that, and we all just got in a room and we wrote separate parts, but we also did these brainstorming sessions. And this is so cool because I feel like you can kind of catch each other on, bullshit stuff, or it's a way to like really just bounce stuff off of people and kind of like pressure test it before it even goes out. So this is a super helpful
sometimes
exercise.
It's like killing your darlings, because it's like
100%. You're like, that doesn't work if I can't sell it to everybody else.
Yeah, especially yourself. But yeah, man.
Well, yourself will like yourself if you're just tired of writing. You're like, yeah, that sounds like a really great idea, whatever. And then, 2 weeks later, you're reading it and you're like, what the hell was I thinking? So it does help to kind of bounce it off somebody.
Well, it's funny. We've been approached about a couple of the ones that we made up. Like we had one that was about a bunch of crazy Santas. Like anybody that was dressed like Santa or had Santa on them. They played the record of Bing Crosby's White Christmas backwards, and it caused everybody to go out and kill everyone. And it was like this.
That was only wearing the Santa stuff. Like, yeah. That's cool. Like those Santa crawls or whatever, like bar crawls.
Yeah, it was called Ho Ho Homicide.
Yeah, man, Christmas movies are where it's at. You get to play them every year.
Yeah, there's not many, so it's like, and at least not good ones anyway, but yeah, man, I really appreciate you coming on. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that story. Obviously, I will have worked on some of the sound effects that we're going to do in this. I'm voice acting and things like that. Plus, I'm going to have a fake trailer up for you guys probably before this episode even airs. So I hope you check that out too, because it really does mean a lot. But thank you, man.
Yeah, and then you get to, are you going to use a bunch of your group's music as well? You get to showcase that?
I was thinking of that, or just creating my own, because I could probably do that really easy. So that's cool. Not, it definitely has to have EBM in it. Like, I got to figure out something. I have quite a few tracks. So
there we go.
We got like 3 albums worth.
Cut the hell of a trailer out of that.
Right. Is it too much to use your own music though when you're doing that? Like,
hell no. Do it, man. I want to hear it.
I don't want to be jerking myself off in a mirror.
Nah, might as well. If not you, then who? Who's going to do it?
Yeah, and by the way, guys, the link for the song is going to be located down below. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that.
Everybody died.
Everybody
died.
I love movies with endings like that.
Right, so, I do too. Cabin in the Woods.
Right, The Mist.
Oh, yeah, The Mist. Oh,
that's got one of the most epic fucking endings.
Epic, yeah.
I fucking loved that, dude. But like, obviously, guys, if we had more time, you can't just write a movie in a fucking hour.
It was really good, though. I love the concept. I love the electric
Body Massacre. Electronic. Yeah.
Oh, electronic Body Massacre. I love that.
Dude, I love the fucking music in the trailer. By the way, guys, if you haven't listened to the trailer and you like the music, or if you haven't seen the trailer, I use a song by this guy named Matteo Turra, who is from Italy. And he's in like one of the worst areas for this kind of stuff. And he was, he's super fucking cool. I wrote him and I was like, yo, man, I just want to let you know, really love your track. And I put it in this fake trailer. I don't make any money off of it, just so you know.
So if you like his song,
if you like
you need to buy it.
Please go out and support him, because, that meant the world to him. You know what I mean? And he's a very talented artist. And it just makes me wonder how many amazing, talented people there are that just get overlooked every day.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because they didn't get some sort of weird algorithm.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
But yeah. So thanks again to Ryan Prows for coming on the show. Really appreciate it, man. That was a lot of fucking fun.
I hope he comes back soon. You guys should do another Graveplot sometimes, because I can't do Graveplot.
Yeah, she won't do it.
No, I'm not that creative.
But I think it's a good idea to get some like directors, writers, and people who are creatives that, do this kind of thing, because it really tickles that kind of part of the brain for people who are into that kind of thing.
Right.
Plus, even if you're not into it, it works this weird muscle in your brain to get you to think laterally and like on the spot. It's almost like sales in a way, because like I did sales and it helped me to think better. I don't know how to explain it.
No, it makes sense.
You have to do lateral thinking when you're on the spot like that. So you like learn to multitask, even though I'm ADD. So
you are.
Yeah.
Very. Oh,
Christina will walk back and forth in front of me 4 times and I won't even know where she is.
It's true.
You laugh about it, but when I was in fucking elementary school.
Here we go.
In elementary school, I felt like a fucking idiot, dude.
Like, cause you are an idiot. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow. But when you're a kid and they didn't really know what ADD was back then, they like treated you like,
yeah, I know.
Really bad.
You gotta be put in a cage. That's what
now
you do.
Everybody has it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's like, what degree of ADD are you? You know what I mean? How much Ritalin or fucking, what is it? Adderall is the big one now.
Yeah, it's Adderall.
It used to be Ritalin for me. Fucking doing drugs as a kid, man. I felt like spaced out. Like I had no idea. My personality was dead.
Right.
Because I was just so fucked up on fucking Ritalin, dude. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for coming by this week.
Hey.
What?
What are we going to watch next week?
I was just about to say that, Christina, before you interrupted me.
Oh, good. Glad thing I did.
So next week, we are going to be watching some new movies.
What are we going to watch?
Well, first off, I know some of you guys are a little like, you know, a lot of you like old movies, but some of you don't. So we like to mix it up here. And we decided to pick 2 movies that are brand new. One of them is from Fangoria Presents, which is Porno. It's 2019's Porno.
Oh, God.
Which you can rent for like $12, I believe.
Why is it so expensive? Is it because it's a porno?
No, it is not a porno.
Then why is it fucking expensive?
Anyway, as I was saying, Fangoria is bringing the movie out early a little bit. So they basically, I think they saw it at a festival, or it was part of a festival that didn't get shown, and then they found it, and then they picked it up. I don't know how much they were involved in it, but I guess I'll find out next week.
You'll find out.
But it's $12. You got to go to the Fangoria website and buy it through there if it's not available VOD. I'll put a link down below for you guys if you want to check it out. If something changes, just check your regular digital streams to see where it is. But then we're also going to be watching another movie called Witches in the Woods.
Witches in the Woods.
Yeah.
That actually looks good.
Which looks kind of cool. Yeah, we just kind of picked that one on a whim.
Well, the trailer. We
right.
picked it because of the trailer.
Plus, I also have a lot of new reviews I'm going to be putting up on the YouTube. So if you guys want to check out some newer movies that are coming out, I'll be doing that too. But yeah, those are our 2 movies. Porno from 2019 and also Witches in the Woods from 2020. So
I want to call it Witcher in the Woods.
I know, it looked like it kind of.
Because I was thinking of Watcher. What's it called? Watcher in the Woods?
Yeah.
And I kept calling it Witcher in the Woods, and then now we have Witches in the Woods. Oh my God, I'm so confused.
Well, toss a coin to your Witcher. That song. Toss a coin to your Witcher.
Stop. Okay, we're good.
All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have an amazing week, and we all stay safe out there. So we'll see you next week, and as always,
Long live the void.